Hello, mixtresses and mixters. This is mixtressrae. You're watching Mixtress video. I wanted to do a little bit of kind of a wrap up of the Have Magic Will Travel. Overall, like my idea of, sorry, I'm concentrating on the incense. Trying to create a little cove with my hand in order to light the incense, but also not set myself on fire. You know, it's a process. It's working. Okay. Yay, okay. I did it. I did it! There we go. So, it didn't work out the way that I thought that it would work out. My goal was, if you watched that video, then you saw that my goal was to go to a different location once per week and do a reading outside in the month of September. Well, the month of September was oppressively hot where I live, so that didn't really work out. Plus, we got some of the smoke from the fires, from the wildfires, and so I came out here one day. I don't know if the footage is in this video, then you'll see it. You will have probably already seen it. I came to this cemetery one day just in my car, and I was feeling crappy, and I didn't know it, but the air quality was bad that day, and hanging out outside just made me feel worse. So it wasn't a super successful outing, and then it was just really hot and I got busy and whatever. So it didn't work out the way that I had planned. But I did end up going at the beginning of October, went on my sort of yearly camping trip. This was our 4th year going to the same place that I really enjoy going to. And while I was there, I realized that I actually don't need much of anything as far as a travel witchy kit. What's important to me is essentially the only thing you need is a calm place to be, in my opinion. Sorry for the wind, guys. It's probably not cute right now. So anything in addition to a calm place to be is just a bonus. Try to stabilize this so it doesn't go. There we go. Maybe. So I brought, you saw, there was a lot, I put several things in my bag. Incense, a lighter, a tarot deck, an oracle deck, a little bag with some stuff in it, like the lighter, the pen, a pen. Anyway, I realized while I was on my camping trip I sort of refined what will go in this bag. So this bag will stay in my car from now on. It'll be my travel witchy kit. And what it will have in it is oracle deck, tarot deck, a rock. This one is special to me because I dug it up myself in the 90s when I was like a preteen. I think I was preteen at this point. And we went on like a crystal dig in Arkansas. I dug this up myself, and every year I take it with me back to Arkansas to like kind of recharge it at its birthplace. So this is a significant crystal to me because I dug it up myself, goddammit. So this, I'll have that. I'll have a pen. I'll have a lighter. I'll have probably incense of some kind. And an addition that I did not have during the first video is a journal, which this is just BYO. Like, I'm not going to have a journal in the bag. I'm just going to need to remember to bring a journal. And if I don't have that, then I'll just have to take notes on my phone or in a little notebook that I keep in my purse and transfer it later into my journal, etc. But the other thing is the Animal Speak book by Ted Andrews. I don't know if I'm going to keep this in the bag or not, but essentially what I found during my camping trip is that all I really want is a calm place to read, a tarot deck, a journal, and the Animal Speak book. Because when I was in the wilderness, what would happen is, I'm trying to make it so you can like see things, but it's not great with the type of tripod that I have right now. But essentially all I wanted because where I was, there was no signal of any kind, so there was no contacting the outside world. So all I really wanted, I didn't actually take an oracle deck with me when I went camping. All I had was the tarot deck that I always have with me in my purse and the Animal Speak book. Plus I had my journal and I had a lighter and I had incense, things like that. But essentially, like, while we were camping, while we were in nature, if we encountered a particular animal, I looked it up in the Animal Speak book and read about it. And that's the oracle that I chose to use. And that's all I needed. And I had my Halloween tarot that I always have in my purse. And I did readings with it. And they were very effective. And I used my journal. And, you know, I didn't need like clarifier cards or anything like that. I just, you know, I need to keep it simple. So there's that. So I'm here today. I rode my bike to the cemetery and I have my little kit that has this blanket in it and the tarot deck and the oracle deck and the Animal Speak book and the journal and the crystal and the incense, you know, all that stuff. And I'm using it all, I'm using it all. I'm using it all. And it fits in that same bag that I showed you in the introductory video. And it's great. It's all good. But you know, you don't need any of it. None of it. Honestly, you know, I was doing divination when I was a teenager, when I would come to this cemetery. And the only thing I would have with me is a journal and a pen. Sometimes I'd have incense. For a long time I've kept incense in my car. Before I ever had like a witchy kit or anything like that, before I took tarot decks with me everywhere I went, I had incense in my car and I almost always had a journal with me. And I almost always, you know, back before smartphone era, I would have whatever book I was reading on me at any time. And I've never been like, I've never done bibliomancy a lot, but it works. I could have done that. So I'm going back to basics. Yes, I'll have this little travel kit in my car, just in case. But in actual practical use, I don't go to my witchy kit in my car very often. But what I actually do is I get into my purse and I pull out the Halloween tarot in a tin, because I always have this with me. And I always have a pen, and then I always have a little composition notebook, just in case, if I need to take a note on something or whatever. So if I'm doing a random tarot reading and I don't happen to have my full-size journal on me, I have the tarot deck, I have the composition notebook, and I have a pen. Like, I think it's a crutch when we think we need a bunch of shit. Now, I love having a bunch of shit. I've got all kinds of shit at home. But you don't need that when you're doing spontaneous divination in a cemetery. You don't need all that. If I have my car with me and I have this with me, I'll use it. Fuck yeah, I'll use it. But I don't need it. For a long time I was carrying a tarot deck with me in my car at all times. And I still might do that. Although it would make just as much sense, and maybe even more sense, to take this tarot deck out of this to-go bag, because wherever I am, I have my purse and I have Halloween tarot. Wherever I am, I don't need a bunch of shit. And okay, so now this is the update to Have Magic Will Travel. The point is, I didn't need to create a specific bag for magical workings, but this is a useful little bag of essentials to have. I like this tapestry that I'm sitting on right now. Is great for like when I just want to sit in the grass, but I don't really want to sit in the grass because I don't want a bunch of bugs crawling all over me. It's perfect. So I will be carrying this bag with me in my car, and it's also very easy to put in my basket of my bike. So I will do that also whenever I choose to, and anytime I forget to do that, I will always have my purse with a tarot deck in it and a notebook. I think, it's important to remind yourself every once in a while that all you really need is the right mind space to connect to your ghosts, guides, and goddesses, or your higher self, or whatever you call that energy, your inner knowing. All you need is that. And that's harder to access, I would say, these days, because we're so connected. We're so hyper connected to the entire internet all the time that it fragments our connection and our attention and our ability to listen to ourselves. It fragments that. So it's always just really restorative and life affirming when I go once a year to the space that I go to, where I'm staying in a little camper cabin and there's no signal and I cannot communicate with the outside world, even if I want to. I can't. Like, all we have to do is like drive 5 or 10 minutes up the hill and we have signal if we really needed to. But we don't choose to do that. We go there, we park, we set our phones down, and we live in the moment. And it's only 2 days, historically. Like, next year I think we're going to try to stay 3 if we can afford it. But it's such an immediate reset switch for me. I am at a little bit of distance from my normal everyday life, and I have no distractions from me, from my thoughts, from my intuition. And the priority become so clear to me. Like, so clear. I got so much like great journaling done in such a small space of time too, because we were there, We spent a lot of the time just sitting and staring at a campfire. We spent a chunk of time going on hikes, and a chunk of time just kind of sitting around the campsite, writing in journals, reading books, that kind of thing. Such a small amount of time to get so much important spiritual work done, you know? And I didn't need a bunch of shit. You know, I was, even in my last video, I was talking about, I don't know, should I take this deck when I go camping? Should I take this? Do I want to take this? Like, at one point I was considering taking multiple tarot decks and oracle decks for a 2-day camping trip. When I ultimately made the correct decision, which was, I'm taking my purse, I already have a deck in there. That's all I need. And it was all I needed. And it was really quite freeing to have such a limited amount of choices as far as that shit is concerned, you know? And of course, I would feel differently if that was my life. I would want more than just the tarot deck that I have in my purse. I would, but I don't need more than that. Anyway, it was a really beautiful time, and I'm so glad I brought the Animal Speak book, because it's such a good time. You know, you just see, like, you see a snake and then you read the 5 pages about snakes in the book, and it's really thorough, like, as far as, like, he discusses not only, like, sort of the biological behaviors of a particular animal, but also how the totem energy of the particular animal, how the animal spirit, sort of the symbolism of the particular animal has presented itself in different cultures, different times. And it's, you know, he shares like different folk myths and legends and stuff like that. And it's, you get a great overview of a particular animal. And I would even say, like, if you're one of those people that you'd love to get a hold of the Animal Wise Tarot that's out of print, difficult to get your hands on, a great alternative to that deck is the Animal Speak book by Ted Andrews, because you can get all of the information that he has to share about the different animals, and you can track that book down on thrift books, I bet, for like $5 or $10 max. And it's been in print for a long time, so it's a great alternative. Just as a side note, great alternative. Oh my god, I've just been sitting here talking for 30 minutes and I don't even know how good the sound is on this. But thank you guys so much for listening and watching. I appreciate it.